Thank you. I'm honored to be here. I'm going to talk to you about innovation. We all know that innovation is critically important. And at White Castle, we really believe our most amazing innovations come from our customers and our team members. But first, I thought I would ground us in a little bit of history. So White Castle was founded by my great-grandfather, the gentleman in the picture up there, in 1921. At the ripe old age of 41, Billy decided that he no longer wanted to be an insurance salesman. So he quit his job, he borrowed $700 from the bank to begin his wild experiment in the restaurant business. That's what his friends called it. And at the time, you may find this interesting, at the time, hamburger was actually not something that a lot of people ate. But Billy had tried it, he thought it was a really good product. And so he picked the name White Castle, white standing for cleanliness and castle standing for permanence and strength. And he decided to sell his 2x2-inch sliders for 5 cents because he wanted everybody to be able to afford them. And so fast forward, he expanded the business. It did well. He expanded the Midwest, in the East Coast, and he was able to pay the money back in less than 90 days. And Billy was very, very focused on our team members. I could spend a whole time talking about our team members. But in 1924, he decided to offer health insurance. And in 1928, he decided to encourage retirement savings, long before that was commonplace in business. So he was very, very innovative around team members. My grandfather, the gentleman on there, he was very innovative around manufacturing and tinkering with different machines. And so he got us into manufacturing. So we have 3 meat processing facilities, 2 bakeries, and 3 retail plants that make all of our retail products. And then my father got us into the retail business, and I'll tell that story in a little bit. Our vision is to feed the souls of craver generations everywhere, and we do that by our mission statement of creating memorable moments every day. And all of that is wrapped around our values of being family inclusive, moment motivated, results driven, and continuous crave. Now, I'm not going to talk about all those, but innovation obviously falls under continuous crave. And the really, really interesting thing is that we weren't always very innovative. So I said we were founded in 1921. We started by selling 5 products: our sliders, fries, Coca-Cola, coffee, and apple pie. And for the next 41 years, we sold the same exact products. The same products. Billy was very, very focused. He wanted to make sure that the customer in Minneapolis had the same exact experience as the customer in New York. And so he focused on consistency and efficiency. The same 5 products for 41 years. In 1962, we went crazy and did our first product innovation by adding a slice of cheese to our slider. And there were some that really thought that we were degrading the sanctity of the slider by doing that. When drive-thrus came around in the 1950s, we did not add drive-thru until 1985 because we thought it was a fad. Right, so it took us 41 years to add a slice of cheese. It only took us 35 years to add a drive-thru, so we got a little bit better. But product innovation was not, and adapting to consumer trends was not really our forte. But in the last 10 years, we've done more product innovation than in the last 100. And really now, while you can come and get your slider that you love and have grown up on, you could also get our amazing, amazing fish slider, or our breakfast slider, which is a fresh cracked egg on the grill that you can get on our Belgian waffle that we buy from Belgium. So there's so many different products now that we have because consumer trends demand that. And we really believe that if we're going to be relevant for the future generations, we have to be adaptable. We call this the grandmother-granddaughter phenomenon. So grandma grew up on White Castle. She loves White Castle. She really doesn't care about anything else on our menu except our slider. And as long as we don't change the slider, she's going to be happy. But grandma brings in granddaughter. And granddaughter has many memories of going to White Castle with her grandmother. But granddaughter wants different. She wants different tastes. She wants different products. She wants to be talked to in a different way. And so for a small regional brand, we have to make sure that we are always thinking about both of our consumers and how do we not change the past or honor the past, but also innovate for the future. And so I get this question asked me a lot. We, in 2018, introduced the Impossible Slider. And I actually had media asking me, why would you introduce a product that's going to put you out of business? I'm like, it's not going to put us out of business. For us, it was just a natural evolution. We would have customers that grew up on White Castle, and they, for whatever reason, decided they were now a vegetarian. So then they would still come to White Castle because they loved White Castle, and they would ask us to make them a cheese slider, where we would take the onions off the grill and put it on our bun and put a slice of cheese on it. So they would get the essence and flavor of White Castle, but without the meat. And we had a lot of customers doing this. We thought, we can do better than this. Some of our customers want a vegetarian option. So in 2013, we introduced a veggie slider. In 2016, we introduced the black bean slider. And then in 2018, we introduced the Impossible slider. Again, for us, a very natural evolution and innovation to give our customers what they wanted. Now, I talked a little bit about the retail business. So while we only have 340 locations across mostly the Midwest and the East Coast, our retail product is in all 50 states. It's a nationwide distribution. And the story there is that it was started 35 years ago. My father, who was the president at the time, he would go out and he would visit every single castle every year. And he would talk to customers because that's what we do. We talk to our customers. And so he noticed that customers would order, let's say, 20. And they wanted 4 for here, and they wanted 16 wrapped. And my dad's like, what is that? We don't do that. What is wrapped? Or our team members were actually taking the burgers and wrapping them individually in wax paper and putting them into our boxes, which is normal. But the wax paper was a different thing. And so when he would go out and talk to the customers and ask them what they were doing with the burgers that were wrapped, they told him, remember this was the early 80s, we put them in the freezer, and we got this newfangled thing called a microwave oven. And so if you take it out of the freezer and put it in this microwave oven and heat it up for 20 seconds, it's really good. You should try it. And so my dad's like, that's interesting. So customers that are coming into the restaurants, getting burgers, and then they also want to have it at home. So how can we satisfy that customer need? And so he went out and he talked to a bunch of grocery stores and told them about these stories and how we were getting a lot. We were doing this a lot. And they all told him he was crazy, that no consumers would want to buy restaurant products in grocery stores, which is rather ironic considering how many restaurant brands are in grocery stores now. So again, looking to your customers for what they're doing, how they interact with your products, and how you can be innovative in that respect. Another example is our customers usually order our products in multiples. So it's very rare that somebody comes in and orders one slider because they're only this big. And when they do, we kind of look up the menu board. You only want one? Really? Sure, just checking. They order them in 2s or 4s or sacks. They used to buy them in sacks. Sell them by the sack was one of our things. And so as, again, we noticed that customers were ordering sacks and sacks of burgers, we thought, it's kind of hard to carry a bunch of sacks of burgers. So can we develop packaging that will be really cool that our customers will really enjoy? And will make it easier on them to order in these large quantities. So we have our Crave Clutch, which holds 20, our Crave Case, which holds 30, and we even have a Crave Crate, which will hold 100, that is perfect for tailgates and weddings and lots of parties and great times to make some wonderful, memorable moments. We also want to make sure that we are trying to connect, especially with the granddaughter generation, with consumers in a way that is relevant to them. And so we've done a lot of partnerships with really cool brands. So Puma, you can see, those are White Castle tennis shoes. I have all 3 pairs. There are 3 pairs. The orange one up there is my favorite. It's the cheeseburger shoe. And so doing cool collaborations with other brands to get your name out there and to resonate with different communities is something that we have found has really been a very good innovation for us. My boys, I have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. They were so excited when we partnered with DGK, who is a brand that does skateboards. So we have these really cool skateboards at my house that I will not let my children use because I don't want them to get all scuffed up, that have White Castle on them. But again, all of these different partnerships allow you to connect with customers in a way that is different and resonates with their communities. We also introduced an NFT. Does anybody in here know what an NFT is? Okay, this is not an area of expertise in mine in any way, but it was very cool that a 100-year-old brand launched an NFT in 2021. Again, another way for us to connect with that community in a way that's relevant to them. So lots of innovation around our customers. We also feel like we have a lot of innovation around our team members. And so I want to tell a story about a gentleman who reached out to us on our 1-800 line, a customer. He grew up in the Bronx, and he loved White Castle, and he was a young aspiring New York fashion designer. And we started a friendship with him and wanted to figure out a way to collaborate. He was very, very unknown. And so we had him design our uniform for our team members because we thought, how cool would it be for our team members to know that their uniforms were designed by a New York fashion designer, right? Because a lot of times uniforms are not the most fun things that your team members want to wear. And if they like their uniform, if they know it's designed by a New York fashion designer, maybe they'll wear it out. Maybe they'll wear it to a party. Maybe they'll help promote your brand a little bit more. And so Telfar Clemens, unfortunately the spouses are not here. I know this is an audience of mostly men, but if there were more women in here, you would know who Telfar Clemens is because he won the Vogue Fashion Fund and is doing phenomenal work. His bags are very, 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 very popular, but he's a great friend of White Castle. And the picture here is actually some of our team members. We had him design our 100-year t-shirt for our 100th year anniversary. And so that's a wonderful example of integrating our customers and our team members for innovation. Does anybody here know what happens on Valentine's Day at White Castle? Oh, I got a couple of hands. Okay, this was started by a team member. So in Minneapolis, a general manager who had been at her castle for a long time, she knew her customers because we have a lot of customers that come in on a regular basis. And she had this come in, and she knew that they didn't have a lot of money and that they weren't going to be able to afford a really expensive dinner for Valentine's Day. So she said, come to White Castle, let me treat you. And so when they came in on Valentine's Day, she had set aside a table. She put a little white tablecloth with a little reserved sign. She had gotten some flowers, and she had made some menus, and she waited on them, which is not our normal service process. We are a fast food restaurant. And it was so well received by that customer and other customers that were looking and going, why are they getting special treatment? So the next year, she did it in all of her tables at White Castle. And then the year after that, we did it in all of the castles in Minneapolis. And then the year after that, we did it in all of the castles in our system. And in 2020, right before the pandemic shut us all down, we had 36,000 reservations for one night on Open Table. If you don't make your reservation by the middle to end of January, you cannot come to White Castle on Valentine's Day, which is super cool. Again, a great way to take an idea from a team member and expand it to create an amazing, memorable moment for your customers. We also look at how, with the challenges of the labor market right now, we're always looking for ways to make our team members' lives and jobs easier. And so we've introduced some innovation that's I'm going to show you a little bit now. These are kiosks that our customers can order off of if they want to. We also have Flippy. We've gotten a lot of press about Flippy at the fryer. So Flippy is a robot that we put into our fryer station in one of our castles, and I'm going to show you a little video of him working. There he is. He is dumping an order of chicken rings into the dump station where our team members will hand it to the customers, and he is now going to get some chicken rings from the bottom, and then he's going to put it in the fryer. And so the fryer is a big position in our business. We have 1 or 2 people working there. And Flippy has been able to allow us to take those team members and put them in other places in the castle and put them more customer-facing, which is where they can create those amazing, memorable moments. So we're really proud of Flippy. He does a great job. Another team member that we've added at the same castle is Julia. And Julia is a partnership with MasterCard. It's an AI menu board. And so if you take a listen, you can hear Julia take an order.
Welcome to White Castle. To begin ordering, agree to the terms by saying, okay, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
What would you like today?
Let me get a number 13 with no cheese.
Bacon or sausage for your number 13 combo.
Sausage.
Alrighty.
We get an order of cheese fries.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Get an order of cheese fries.
All right.
Can I get a medium Coke?
Great choice.
Make that a large coffee in the combo.
Sorry, failed to replace any item.
In the combo.
So the cool thing about Julia, this is our first experimentation with AI. We had to teach her how customers order our products. And if you think about it, we figured out that there are like 80 different ways that a customer can order a #1 combo. Hey, I want a #1. Can you give me the combo with 4 cheeseburgers? All of those different ways. So we had to teach Julia how to say that. And if you noticed, she said, alrighty, and she said, good choice. Those have to be programmed in there as well. And so the innovation around this particular item is really, really interesting because you don't, as a restaurateur, we didn't really think about all of the different steps to make this work. And Julia continues to improve time after time, order after order. And so we're excited about her and how she can continue to help us take a job off of one of our team members, because the team member who does take this order, they're taking the order, they're making the drinks, they're handing out food, and they're greeting the customer. And so to be able to take the order part off of them and let them focus on the 4 other tasks that they have is really a great win for us and a great innovation. And so the last thing that I'll talk about is just honoring your customers. And we feel so blessed to have so many customers that have such wonderful stories about White Castle. It always happens whenever I am out somewhere that somebody will come up to me and say, hey, I got to tell you a story about White Castle. And we love those stories. And so we figured out about 15 years ago that we needed to capture those stories. So we offer an opportunity for customers every year to submit their story about White Castle. And we get a couple hundred every year, maybe 400 or 500 every year, and we pick 10. And so we induct them into our Cravers Hall of Fame. And we have some famous Cravers in our Cravers Hall of Fame. Alice Cooper is a big one, the Smithereens, the Beastie Boys, and here's a picture with Stan Lee, who's also inducted into our Cravers Hall of Fame. But I really love the stories of our everyday Cravers, those customers that just love White Castle and will go to any lengths to show their appreciation. One of those is a gentleman by the name of Walter. And so Walter, I met at a castle in Shanghai, China, when we opened. Walter loves White Castle so much. He lives in LA, and he would fly to Vegas to pick up crave cases of White Castles and come back to LA. And wherever he travels, has his assistant put where there's White Castles. And so he just happened to be in Shanghai, China, when we opened our stores out there on vacation. And so he shows up in Shanghai, China at our White Castle, and I had the opportunity to meet him. He then submitted his 5-page manifesto to our Cravers Hall of Fame committee, and they picked him because he had so many stories about his love of White Castle growing up in New Jersey. After we inducted him into our Cravers Hall of Fame, Walter decided that he needed to express his love of White Castle even further. And so he commissioned a custom-made motorcycle called the Crave Cruiser, which is pictured here. He had this specifically designed to show his homage to White Castle. It's got all cool logo stuff, history on there. The saddlebags on each side are perfectly designed to fit a Crave case each. And the spokes on the wheel are shaped like crinkle-cut French fries. And so again, just a great, great story about innovation and how when you honor your customers, they will do amazing things for you. And the last one that I'm going to leave you with is the story of Rebecca and Erica, 2 sisters from New Jersey who grew up on White Castle and loved it, but have lived in Florida for a really long time. But they were so excited when we opened our first store in Orlando, Florida in 2021, in May of last year. And it was an amazing opening, the largest White Castle and the largest opening that we've ever had. There were customers that were waiting 6 hours in line for days and days and days to get their slider. And it was just a spectacular event. And so I want to give you an opportunity to listen to Erica and Rebecca.
All right, we're here at White Castle, the epicenter of all cravings.
Right.
Hey, tell us who you are and why you're here today.
So my name's Erica.
I'm Rebecca.
We're sisters.
From New Jersey.
We grew up in New Jersey, grew up on White Castle. Once we found out that you guys were opening, we made sure to drive the hour out here and get our mini crave case.
Yes, we'll be back for
lunch.
30. plus when there's no limitations.
But we love you guys. We're glad that you guys are finally here in Florida. It's nothing like crystals. If you want a real slider, you got to come to White Castle.
It's a once in a lifetime type of opportunity, and
And a flavor that you'll never forget.
you won't find anywhere else.
Love it. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you.
We can't wait to be back. And there's the mango wine.
Right? I mean, wouldn't we all love to have that type of loyalty? And for us, it is such a, it's always such a wonderful reminder. Every time I watch that video, it makes me smile. And when you think about being a 100-year-old brand, you have to be innovative. You have to be able to connect with the next generation. And this, Eric and Rebecca give me a lot of hope that we are doing that and that we are making an impact on our future generations and obviously our future cravers. So thank you for having me.